Before we start this episode of Krypton Report, I want to take a moment and just give a shout out here to our Patreon. I know what you're thinking. Gosh, everyone's asking for money, and I get it. But our Patreon is only $1. $1 a month. It helps us keep the podcast going. And what we do is we try to find interesting shows and topics and whatever we want to talk about. We've done, as of this little thing, our last recordings were on the Scream series. Brian and Tyler, that's me, do our own show where we record in the car, and it's kind of funny. And we talk about pop culture or whatever is going on. We also have the Supernatural podcast we've been reworking. It's taken on some time just because of life. But we do movie commentaries as well. It's something that James and I have done, what we used to do on the main show that we've started doing here. So for $1 a month on our Patreon, you can get those shows. There's at least 4 a month. Also, there's my movie pitch show that I do. But also, what we want is if you're a Patreon, you can come on. You can come on the main show if you want. Or if there's something you want to come on and talk about, we can do it as a Patreon special. So all I want is for $1 a month, think about chipping in, joining our Patreon, and you have a voice to be part of things. Follow the link in the link tree or in the show notes below, patreon.com/KryptonReport.
Part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Worldwide, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the man of tomorrow. And with me is the Superman of Red, Mr. James Cole. What's up, buddy?
Howdy, howdy.
And not only are James and I here together for this glorious night of the return of Superman and Lois, but we brought along another friend. And what's funny is when we invited this guy back, it was just to talk about Superman and Lois, but something else cool's happened that plays into him too. So we're going to welcome back Mr. Levi. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? Long time, guys. Feels like it's been a long break since the last season.
Gosh, it does. But at the same time, I can't keep track of time anymore. Everything just feels like it runs together. Since last we talked, Mr. Levi is a father, so congratulations officially on
congratulations
on the show here. Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
You will now be watching Superman and Lois with a new eye, and You'll probably cry more.
Definitely.
That's how we are. But what's funny is, so we invited Levi back, but if anyone remembers our previous, I think the last time he was here, we had a whole episode talking about McFarlane figures. And today, McFarlane dropped all this information on their Flash figure and Flash set and set everything to pre-sale. So we've been talking about it all day. So we're going to talk a little bit about McFarlane figures here. Let me pull out my note because they released. Okay, so to break it down, we officially got that they released 6 figures on their main line. Okay, but there's technically 7. Did you guys see the special mask off edition of Michael Keaton's Batman?
Yes.
I did.
It's a Target exclusive.
I may have pre-ordered that one as well.
That's smart. Okay, so I'm gonna give a breakdown of the figures and we'll talk about them a little bit, just for any of the listeners right here. Just so you know, there may be a little spoiler in here because toys sometimes spoil things. If you don't want to listen, skip ahead a little. But here we go. The 6 figures are, of course, the Flash. Then we have what we refer to right now as like Barry Earth 2 Flash, where it's the Flash but in an old Batman suit. Then we have Batfleck, which is hilarious because just yesterday I wish they would do another Ben Affleck Batman. Like, I wish they would do the BVS Ben Affleck Batman, other than just having the Justice League one with the armor, the extra armor on it. So we have Ben Affleck Batman. We have Michael Keaton Batman. We have Supergirl with a flying stand. Levi and I are having this discussion because it seems like McFarlane never puts out flying stands anymore. And then the last figure is Dark Flash. Ooh, Dark Flash.
Dark Flash.
And then the Batmobile.
That's the controversial one, I think.
It is. And then the Batmobile and Ben Affleck's motorcycle. So that is the huge line. And I'll tell you something. They all look dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Batmobile looks sick. And don't forget the gold label Batwing.
Oh yeah, God forbid the $250 gold label Batwing.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to forget it.
Brian, our friend Brian was like, yeah, I can't on some things. I'm like, I get it. Like, it kills me. Okay, I just have to reiterate this. It kills me how all in they are for this. But for Shazam, they're like, one figure, just Shazam by himself. But for Flash, they're like, everybody.
I mean, they're bringing out the Anton First Batmobile. Like, people are gonna want a newer, updated one of that. One of them.
But see, that's not even the Spin Master stuff. The Spin Master toys, I've only seen like snippets of. Like, there's a remote control Anton First Batmobile toy with a platform that looks like the Batcave from Spin Master. And I've seen a few of their small figures, just Batman, Flash, and the Batwing. They haven't even like really shown all the figures they're going to have, because like the McFarlane stuff's for me. But then I got to buy stuff for my kids to play with. Because if you guys don't know, my daughter loves the Flash. She even wants to have a Flash birthday this year. So that's going to be the theme of her birthday. We're going to have Pin the Tail and the Unicorn right next to the Flash. So it's going to be an awesome time.
You should just get a Flash poster and do Pin the Lightning Bolt on the Flash.
There you
That
go.
is a dope idea. All right, I'm going to do it. And the unicorn, because she loves unicorns. Pin the unicorn's tail, Sayla, on the Flash.
Right.
But so these figures are awesome. Like, not since the Dark Knight that just recently came out, the Dark trilogy, which I still can't figure out why they didn't do a Catwoman. I'm a little mad about that since I thought about it. Have I wanted a whole line? Like, I'm like, man. Usually I'm like, oh, one or two figures, but like for this movie, I'm like, dang it, dude, I want them all. Levi, how many did you pre-order?
5 in total.
I got 2 in because I'm cheap. So I usually pre-order through Amazon because I don't have to pay for shipping, and I just pay when they ship, so it helps me budget. But what's interesting, and I was telling this to my wife earlier, was the Barry 2, which is what I'm calling him, wasn't even available on Amazon. Like, there was no link. And then Batfleck and regular Flash weren't even, they were currently out of stock. So maybe they were all pre-ordered too soon.
Oh, wow.
It says currently unavailable. But I was able to pre-order Keaton Batman and Supergirl from Amazon. But I never saw Dark Flash go up. I never saw Dark Flash from McFarlane like saying pre-order available. Look, because I was following their Twitter. I find
Well,
it.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting. They dropped the whole line today, but like most of their lines, they usually do like one at a time, and sometimes the pre-orders aren't the same date.
Yeah, I it's interesting, because just recently, this week, unlike Levi, who is awesome and gets things, when he needs to, Brian and I pre-ordered the Dark Knight figures from Amazon, and I got Batman and Two-Face. Brian also got Batman and Two-Face, while we got a letter saying the other two are delayed and on their way. So, yeah. But I love McFarlane stuff. It's my addiction. I don't have money for drugs, people. I gotta buy McFarlane.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you more money.
I mean, probably. What's hilarious, so yesterday I was showing my Two-Face figure to my wife, God bless Junia, she's amazing, and she looks around my room in here and goes, this is probably the most, room, how'd she word it? Dang it, I can't remember now. This is probably the room in the house that has the most value, the most valuable room in the house. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but at the same time, I feel pretty good about that. I was like, cool. I was like, so, yeah. Good times, people. Good times. But hey, how about the pop collection? Levi, got any pops yet?
Oh man, I'm buying way too many of those too.
For Flash. I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have time for like your whole like everything you've bought since last time we talked.
For Flash, I have both Batmans so far, like in hand already. Supergirl, Barry, General Zod, and then I pre-ordered a metallic Flash from GameStop and the unmasked Keaton from Entertainment Earth today. So
What? Levi, we lost you. What? Oh no, he's gone because he's awesome and we can't handle that much awesomeness on the show.
Right? Like, where is the Zod McFarlane figure, though?
that's
Exactly.
what I'm saying.
Where is Zod? We
And
don't
why-
have a Michael Shannon.
And why is okay? So the only one I got Supergirl. That's the one I have to add to my Kryptonian collection. And I want to know, why is Wonder Woman listed under the pop figures for the Flash? Anybody? Thoughts? Just thinking.
Well, they're probably if Shazam, she's showing up in Shazam, maybe she's going to show up in The Flash. She may have shot some cameos for these movies. Maybe it's how they keep Gal around for now.
Maybe I just think it's interesting. Levi, any comments?
The only one I have chatting with some friends earlier today is we were hoping, because we know Henry shot a cameo for Flash, that they just keep it in there. We all know he's gone, but don't take the cameo we know is already there away from us.
I agree with you.
I agree, because I actually just picked up Black Adam 4K Blu-ray everything today. I hadn't picked it up yet, and I just, on a whim, I grabbed it while I was at the store, and like, such a good movie with a great capper of an ending, and then then here we go.
You're like, and then I'll just go cry.
Yeah, that made me tear up in theater seeing that end credit scene, and then when I watch it at home now, it makes me tear up for a completely different reason. So
You're like at home, like, it's beautiful. Never again. You're like, never again. Why? And we know why. We'll get there. But yeah, so The Flash is officially the movie that's going to break everybody's bank account. Because, I mean, granted, like, it's The Flash, which is amazing, awesome. But also you throw in all the Batman stuff. You have 2 different Batmen. And then Supergirl. Yeah, it's just geared to break us. You know?
yeah, I'm really excited for the Supergirl part of it, because I think she looks great, and I think every time I see the stuff for her, I'm like, God, wouldn't that look nice to K-Ville merchandise too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm getting the Supergirl figure. I don't know about too many of the others, but I might have to get a Keaton Batman. But
Well, what's funny is I wanted, like, I have now on my shelf, I got the Bale Dark Knight Batman, and I put it next to the Batman. I'm like, this looks pretty cool, like the movie Batman, So I was like, man, I really am gonna need to get the Keaton one. This was before they announced it yesterday, and I was like, that's when I was having the thing about, I need another Affleck to go on this. I have my Batman, and then of course, boom, what do? They drop them all. So, but hey, it's cool. So moving forward, we're just going to talk about. We're going to get into Superman and Lois. And excuse me if I'm coughing, my voice is a little dry, and if I'm sound a little loud, I apologize. My daughter's cat keeps getting here and crawling under and messing with my mixing board. So sometimes I'm really loud and tinny, and sometimes I'm not. And I can't tell till after we record. Then I'm like, oh, crap. So, but
cats are usually little a-holes.
They are, but I love my daughter. So I do stuff for him. Levi will know. He'll do stuff for his kid, and he'll be like, man, why am I doing this? And then you'll look at your kid like, dang it, that's why.
All right.
You're like, should I? Should I? Yeah. So you will know, my friend. You will know. But so what was I saying? Oh, we got the first picture of Lex Luthor in jail. What do you guys think about that?
I loved it. I love cutlets, so I'm excited just to see what he does with them.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to his characterization. And if you want to compare first reveals, I mean, the last Lex reveal we got was in prison too. Okay, not that one. The one before that was in prison too.
Yeah, we're like,
and that one honestly looked better, I think.
We have too many Lexes now. So that was cool. And then, so the next piece of news is Zack
I don't know
Snyder.
about too many, but
Yeah, Zack Snyder tweeted something out today. What did you guys? How did you guys feel about the? James, I'll let you explain it.
So Zack Snyder released a video, 12-second video, #FullCircle. Just some garbled music, a projection-like image, circles, spoke pattern, some stuff like that. And then the most interesting thing was Darkside's voice. April 28th, 29th, 30th. Save the date.
So what do you think it is, guys?
So, I mean, I thought because it was like a weekend thing, like a 3-day thing, that it might be like a ZachCon kind of a thing, like how he's done stuff for his works, to showcase his works. I figured it would probably be something like that, but to hear the voice of Darkseid, something new recorded, that was just really exciting. Even if it's just for like the con, but now there's a Zack Snyder's Justice League to be involved as well.
What do you think it is, Levi?
Yeah, I think it's another year of SnyderCon. Just because, like James said, of the weekend-long timeline of it. If it was like a save the date 1 day type thing, to me that would maybe signify something else happening. But I think it's gonna be like when he showed off what he do, Man of Steel 300 and Watchmen that one weekend, and had everyone kind of raise money for, I think it was this film school. So I'm guessing probably something like that.
Yeah, and they did the Q&As and all that stuff.
Yep. See, I was wondering, like, that was one thought, but then my other thing was if he was going to do another, like, online event, watch along, and do his Justice League. And maybe he's splitting it up over 2 days or something. I don't know. It was just because, like, how he did the Man of Steel watch along, and then he did the live, watch along for BVS. So I was wondering, okay, well, maybe this is a watch along party for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I don't know.
I'd be down for that too, because I remembered those watch alongs, and those were a lot of fun to listen to. I'm the type who always listens to like a director's commentary. So
yep, me too. And he always had the best commentaries on Blu-rays. And I think I would prefer that just because it's something I could actually participate in, compared to people who go to like some really cool, like, oh man, I went to ZachCon, and I'm like, great, I live in Ohio and I'm poor.
yeah,
I'm buying all this McFarlane stuff.
Absolutely. Right.
So thanks, Todd. I just, it's interesting, And then the last bit of news that I have is James Gunn is directing Superman Legacy. How do you guys feel?
I mean, I kind of discussed it a little bit in the past. Like, if he does, I mean, I really hope he intends to stretch his legs with his tone and his humor, like the way that, because he's pretty pegged for being a certain type of director. And that's not, I don't think that's what just about anybody's looking for in a Superman movie. So I think, I hope he plans to broaden his horizons with this film. We know he's a great movie, a great film director, and a great storyteller.
Levi, thoughts?
I'm excited, especially with the comments he posted with kind of confirming what everyone already kind of suspected with him directing, where he, talked about how much Superman meant to him and how he turned it down in the past because he didn't think he had an angle for it, but this time he thinks he does. So if he thinks he has an angle, and kind of the angle he's talked about is Superman's Kryptonian and Earth heritage and how that affects him, if that's the angle he wants to go with, I don't think we've really seen it explored a ton in the movies. Kind of how those two things, how did he put it, the aristocratic Kryptonian heritage with his farmer Earth heritage, how does that define who Superman is? So if he thinks that's the way to tell the Superman story, then I'm excited to see what he's come up with.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that visually he's become a really good director. He's a solid director. It's just, can he hold back from doing certain usual things? I try to be optimistic and positive with everything, and this would be him having to step up to the next level. It's going to be a bright movie. Even quote unquote James Gunn's dark movies are always bright, so people will love that. So I choose to be optimistic. Is he who I would have wanted to direct? No. I would have picked somebody else, but it's what we have, and it's out of my control, so I'm going to be optimistic about it. So that's my 2 cents. And
well, if he feels like he's got an idea for it, if he feels like he's got the right angle and maybe the maturity for it now, hopefully he does step up his game and we get a truly great Superman movie. I think it's going to be my favorite Superman movie. I probably don't think so, but I'm not going to let that ruin my enjoyment of it. I'm not going to go in like, well, it's not going to be my favorite, so why should I bother? I'm going to be like, it's a new Superman movie. Let's do this shit.
Yep. Because, the big thing is also, we're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, the Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our report.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
We don't know, but also, the segue into, we got Superman and Lois season 3 back, and let's talk about that, because I felt Superman is back. I just throw this out there. Tom Cavanaugh did an amazing job directing this episode. You guys agree with me?
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was super impressed. I mean, I know I was impressed before by Sprite, but God, it just felt like turning on the TV and watching this again. We watched it as a family. Maybe there's a couple things in for the kids, but you know, they ain't picking up on stuff too much yet. But it just felt like a big warm, like high five and hug. So Superman and Lois season 3, episode 1, Closer. This episode picks up 27 days after the world was almost destroyed, and we're getting kind of a quick montage snapshot look back into the lives of all the characters as they're going back to regular normal life. You guys just kind of want to go beat by beat or kind of by character, like how you want to do it, or just talk.
I mean, we can go by. I mean, we can talk in general.